I think at the very end there was just a jar of pee by his desk. Like it was low, you know, it wasn't like focused on, but it was just there.
So yeah, but my interpretation of that was that you, by beating the game and getting to the secret ending, your character wakes up from that simulation and has been plugged into a catheter the entire time, right?
I like that better. That's a much happier interpretation. I'll go with that.
Okay, but I really hope that was actually Jonathan Blow. Right?
That's at least what the internet believed for a hot minute.
Yeah, go big or go home. If you're gonna do that shit, use your actual pee. Right? You can better believe it that if we involve a catheter in this game whatsoever, we are gonna perform real life experiments with our own urine. Mark my words. Twitch world, you have heard me swear to this right now.
Oh god, if it goes in that direction, I guess I'm down.
Yeah.
Sure. Next week we're going to hit number 42.
Yes, well, it'll be our double 21st birthday.
Oh yeah, twice
we'll
legal.
Get smashed and stoned on stream.
Twice legal, very shy.
It'll be the nerdiest bender ever.
Yeah, my parents saw our trailer and they were like, "This is great." And they watched a little bit of the stream and they were like, "Is this the Daily Show for programmers?" And I was like, "No, guys."
What does that mean, Daily Show for programmers?
I don't know. I haven't interrogated that fully yet, but I'm looking forward to doing so.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, frankly, it sounds like a compliment.
Yeah, I'll take it.
No one ever says the Daily Show for Blanken is trying to insult someone else. So
it is October 1st. Happy trailer day. Happy new website day.
Happy, yeah. Let's do it.
Oh, are we gonna watch our own trailer? Oh, yeah. Oh, well, we can just look at it.
I was gonna peek at us.
Oh,
look at us in full stereo.
Yeah, nice. This is gonna become infinite in a second, right?
Oh, 100%. Which
it.
I do love doing to Twitch.
Okay.
But I also wanted to see the broadcast was there, and we are Aralive, which is not a good word, so I'll fix that later. Seems fine.
I like it. But, people will figure it out. It's camel.
But also, we have a lovely new devlog.
Yeah. Very textual. We got to fix a broken image in there, but you know what?
I fixed it. Crud. Okay.
Well, and then there's all these paragraph breaks and needless words and needless verbosity. You know what? Whatever. We'll go back and this is the era of revisionist history. We'll go back and just update it freely with no warning.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just git push force master and history is gone.
I'm ready to do some programming.
Let's
I do TypeScript during the day. I'm going to do TypeScript during the evening.
See, I don't get to do TypeScript during the day, so my evening TypeScript is really a joy.
Wait, remind me again. Y'all during your day job are all on just pure, regular, plain old JavaScript.
Pure, regular, plain old JavaScript, but I keep every time I start a new project, I just do TypeScript init. And so I've got one of our libraries in TypeScript, and I'm going to do a new app in TypeScript. So I'm slowly but surely, and everyone's on board with it. It's just legacy code.
Just trying to find the time to do it. Yeah.
It's just like someone needs to be the champion of TypeScript, and it will be me.
Nice.
Because I love it. But until then, this is a real treat.
Yeah.
And then after then, this will continue to be a real treat. All right, my battery was draining 1% every 5 minutes, which is a terrible trickle charge. Now we're fixed.
Oh, okay. Did you just have an AC adapter that wasn't quite?
I think I've got a 60 watt adapter over here, and Zoom demands the full 80 watts.
Ugh, Zoom.
I swapped it. I'm stoked to get a MacBook that uses 10 watts of power and is faster than this computer someday.
Oh, are you talking about the new CPUs?
Yeah, whatever it is. I'll be impressed because our iPads are killing it. It's game machines, so.
Speaking of which, I should get my iPad, shouldn't I?
Oh yeah, totally.
Because that's the device that will play this. You know, actually, no, I'm on the PC now, so I trust that will work effectively.
Oh, the PC will probably. I think the PC is better than your iPad.
Yeah.
The PC is beefy.
I would hope so.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so.
We're not quite up and running on your side, so maybe we can spend some time doing that.
Yeah, I tried to run the game, but it's looking for something in out server and just not finding it.
It
It's also not finding build key.
You know, it's funny. So I think that's probably the issue that failed. That particular file is git ignored, but it also should have gotten added to the repo, and it's not, right?
Right. Yeah. So that's a tricky one.
You can do that. You can add a file to the repo,
Yes.
set it, and then git ignore it, which is what I thought I did. But I probably did a bad.
I think it didn't make it through. Yeah. Okay. All lowercase. Does it need contents?
Yeah, it does. There are some contents because I do a find and replace, although maybe this is unnecessary, actually. If you can find... there should be a buildkey.ts somewhere in here. It's going to be in build server. Yes. So we write a file, and it does a replace, but maybe this is dumb, and maybe we should just have the full contents of the file in there.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, all it does is export a variable called build key. So you could just make a little string template here that's like export build const build key string.
That's it. Yeah.
I think you might need to give it a type. I'm not sure, or it'll just figure it out.
It should. I think TypeScript will be chill about this.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that all I need to do?
I think that's it. But basically, get rid of the read right there. You don't need to read it.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. That's great. I think just sort of creating that file on the fly seems like a really...
Yeah.
And then actually, hopefully I can... Let's see. I'm going to try deleting it. Build server is a little unhappy. On line 29. Yeah, probably because of all the extra parentheses.
I also thought of one thing that might speed this up a little bit. If you go into dev.js...
Yes.
That's the thing that we run when we run a yarn dev. And so pretty much everywhere we call TS node, we can pass in an argument called --transpile -only. And that should speed it up. Yeah, so we want to add right next to this, between that and the path.
Cool.
Just another... I think it might need to be another comma-separated argument. I'm not exactly sure how this spawn thing works, but...
Cool.
And then we can also do that in the package.json as well.
Right, because we have a TS. Okay, brilliant. Oops. We only need the one. Transpile only. Oh, I noticed that I think something is already recompiling with transpile only going on.
Yeah, and it should be a lot faster because it's not type checking anymore. We'll just let the type checker run in VS Code. That's
great. Yeah, I don't need this to do that.
Yeah, it just needs to turn the TypeScript into JavaScript and go. That seemed a little bit better.
Oh, I mean, that was very fast. Oh, yeah.
The speed we're worried about is the time between it saying spawning build jobs and then the first client build or server build create bundle.
Totally. Well, if I take a chunk of the client, like the like game.ts, if I save this,
it should trigger, and then that's way faster. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, your computer's faster than mine, but it should be a lot faster now that it's not type checking.
Yeah, that still feels like it's on the speedy side now, so that's great.
Cool.
All right.
It was easy as that.
As I say, I think our rebuild time is also a metric to look at. So,
yeah.
But that is going very quickly now. Delightful.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I recall it taking a little longer on your side. My machine's not that much faster for compiling than yours. It's just graphics.
Well, you have a couple extra CPU cores though. So.
Oh, that's true. I do got them double quad cores, or doubles. All right, sweet. I should ngrok this for you, huh?
Yeah.
Ngrok HTTP 3000. Alrighty, I'm gonna send this to a Slack. Hop on into this game.
I'm enjoying the game.
And I'm going fast.
Yeah, we're both going fast because I think we're both sped up.
Oh, right,
But
we're both.
we're keeping pace.
This is actually great. Yeah.
Yeah. This seems really fast.
I think, well, let's see. My tick FPS is 120.
My tick FPS is 115. I'm running in Firefox. My frames ahead of server is 97. How about yours?
22. How interesting.
So I'm faster.
Is it staying steady or is it continuing to advance?
It's continuing to advance. So you should get locked up pretty soon.
I mean, my frames ahead of server is actually going up and down. So it was at 22, now it's at 29.
I am perplexed.
It went to 18. I mean, maybe this is where the cores are actually coming in.
Okay, yeah. And then if you start driving around, yeah, that's cool. And then our server inputs per frame, which needs a better acronym, SIPF is like always a head scratcher, gets to 4. It averages
the max,
4 when
right?
both. Yeah, 4 is the max because we're shooting and driving, and there's 2 of us doing it. So that's four different events. Right.
So for 97 frames ahead of the server, does that mean that your prediction loop has to run 97 times?
Yes.
And it's not causing us performance problems.
No, I'm surprised.
I am too, but that's great. I don't know if you can see on my screen, but your bullets are actually starting very far away from your tank.
Yeah. So that's how far? Let me see. Let me try shooting here.
Here, wait. We'll both shoot down at the same time.
Yeah. So I think that's expected, unfortunately. And
right, because that's like we discover the bullet at that point, essentially.
Yeah. When the bullet actually gets fired on the reconciliation phase, right? Your game receives inputs for a particular frame that you have already you simulated like several, like maybe dozens of frames in the past, according to you.
Right. Okay.
And then so the bullet's going to basically say, "Oh, actually, I appeared here, and I'm going to simulate the travel of the bullet away from the tank, and then it's going to render." And by the time it renders, it's already pretty far away. Cool. Yeah, don't love it either, but
don't love it. But also, I mean, if our prediction became more advanced, we could predict pretty confidently that like you've got the mouse button held down, and you might have it held down at your next whatever the cutoff window is. So like we could start a bullet predicted right where it should be.
So what we don't have is prediction of inputs for other clients.
Totally.
And I think what other systems do, again, referring back to that Overwatch NetPlay lecture, they just basically assume that the input is constant. So they just like literally copy the previous frames of input. So if you're driving to the left, it'll assume that you're continuing to drive to the left until it acknowledges otherwise. Right?
That seems really reasonable. Like, what better prediction could you make?
Yeah.
So were we to do that, actually, your bullets would start firing essentially from the correct spot immediately because we'd be predicting you would be firing.
It looks like It looks like to me. Oh, never mind. It looks like you're shooting, but your bullets aren't making it anywhere. On my side, I don't see your bullets anywhere.
Really?
Which is very interesting.
But I'm moving.
You're driving on my side. I don't know what happened.
But
and your frames ahead of server is not negative. Usually negative means that you're getting swallowed.
No, but so this is an interesting thing. Like I'm gonna click the mouse.
Oh, you know what I bet it is? Your bullets are so far behind mine that they're already gone by the time.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So I think maybe the first thing we should do today is we've taught both clients to speed up, but maybe it's time to send the slowdown message.
Yeah.
Because if you slow down and then we both slow down, I think we'd hit a nicer equilibrium.
Yeah. And we also need to sort of mark what slowdown actually means for the faster client and what speed up means for the slower client. I don't think we changed the render frame rate.
No, I'm at a solid 30.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I was also thinking that one thing that might speed up the client is if we unify the render loop and the update loop again.
Oh, interesting.
Because
Okay.
this is just a guess, but if you open up main.tsx, one of the things that we did last time is we said, okay, we're going to allow the client update to schedule itself, right? So if you go into the implementation of that, the client.update is actually what's calling the set timeout, right?
Correct.
And the update period can vary. What that means, though, is that we actually have two things that are being scheduled repeatedly in the client side, the animation frame and this. And potentially, it would be more reliable if we stuffed the update into this thing. But it does mean that like our flexibility for changing the frequency of updates is limited to some integer multiple of 60 FPS, right?
Yeah. Oh man, I would agree too, except that request animation frame is it's like keyed into the hardware level, and it's like if we were to tie these together right now, we would actually be doing on my machine nearly 90 more renders that are getting tossed out because my screen's running at 30 hertz.
Right.
I wonder if actually maybe we could.
And we don't know what the frame rate is there.
Correct.
I see yeah. Okay.
Perhaps we could we have update buffer the frame, and essentially the render is just pulling the buffer out and clearing it for the next one. So basically we're preparing a render and that is dumped into the screen. And that sounds like a, I don't know, double buffering, something I've heard about before.
Yeah.
I don't know what that buys us though. Because right now it's doing a lot less work.
Right. I mean, I think the only thing that my suggestion gives us is less contention on the scheduler. I'm assuming that request animation frame is much more reliable in any browser than a set timeout with some arbitrary period, right? That's my only assumption.
I think so too. I like that we're not I like that it's not setting its own timeout anymore or at all, because I feel pretty good about it.
And because JavaScript is single-threaded, it's not like putting the update in the request animation frame is going to make it any slower. Because whatever latency we had, or CPU-based latency we had when we were using the set timeout method, that's always there. Whether it's in the request animation frame or it's in the set timeout, the CPU is always going to be like single-threaded, like running the simulation there and blocking the render as a result of
correct.
That, right?
Yeah.
Because we're not actually getting threaded behavior. What would change this if we move the simulation into like a web worker version.
Right, because we actually could be on our own CPU doing this, right?
Yeah, and then it would be parallel at that point.
That's really interesting. Actually, I was web worker skeptical, but that seemed, given what we've seen in the last couple sessions, that seems like it's a really possibly necessary addition to running this in the browser.
Yeah, not bad actually. And then there's all kinds of cool stuff we could do. Like if we were really interested in trying to maintain frame rate stability, we could actually simulate ahead of the render. And this is like the next level thing, is you simulate ahead of the render and then figure out exactly how far between the last two simulation frames the render actually is, and interpolate positions between those. And that would like give you like a completely jutter-free.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think what's happening right now, or what's possible to happen right now, is that on one render frame could render the result of 2 ticks worth of simulation, and the next render frame gives you 3 ticks worth of simulation, and that's going to result in like minor what's known as judder, basically. Like you're basically your render frames are at a constant rate, but the number of simulations that each one contains is inconsistent between the frames, and that's going to basically amount to some skipping. But if we did some interpolation, unless the update was like way behind the render, then you're just going to get something that's like constant. I think that we don't need to do that right away. The judder is not a huge problem for us right now.
I agree. I mean, it looks I'd like to get us just running together at like 30 FPS update or 60 FPS update before even worrying about that.
Sounds great.
Yeah. But I hear you. Interesting. Okay.
So I think
Yeah.
because I'm running so far ahead of you, like I think we're gonna have to get into the realm of saying that if the simulations on two different clients are wildly disparate, what's going to end up having to happen is that occasionally we're going to need to like make the game look like it's running faster than normal for the slow client, and make the game look like it's running slower than normal for the fast client, right?
Mm-hmm. And what is your frames at a server now? Is it still just blowing out into the future?
It's actually kind of steady state at 115.
Okay.
So it seems like we're keeping pace with each other right now, which is very interesting.
It's weird that that's the gap, and then I guess that might be how long you were running fast before it decided that I should catch up, and then I caught up. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I think that's actually the time it took for the message that I was slow to get to me. Okay, interesting. Well, extra interesting because I'm on the same computer. So
well, I'm actually a little bit puzzled right now because I'm 120 frames ahead of server. Why isn't the server? Like, the server should be able to run much faster than either of us, right? Because the server... What did we set the server set timeout to? Is it like double frame rate?
Did we? Oh, God, it's in a totally different place now, isn't it?
Yeah.
One thing is it's not scheduling itself.
It's server.js or server.ts.
Server main.
Server main.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Huh?
I think it's only twice the frame.
Yeah, there we go. Simulation period over 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's why I'm able to stay ahead of this. We're both able to stay ahead of the server because we're simulating faster than the server currently. Both of us.
Correct. And much faster, yeah.
What was the what is the go fast again?
It was a lot.
Yeah, the go fast is 3 ticks per update. Oh yeah, so it's basically running at minimum 3 times faster, right? Or around 3 times faster.
Yeah, it's interesting too. My update FPS is 40.
Mine is 2.
Okay, fascinating. I wonder why.
How are we calculating update FPS again?
It's the number of times update gets called, right? Yeah, update durations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we have a separate tick one, and tick is running 3 times faster. I mean, I feel like this is we've seen the timer do this with CPU contention. We just know that asking for 60 timers a second seems like too much for JavaScript sometimes.
So if you change that to 2,
ticks per update.
Yeah.
All right.
Then let it reload. We don't have hot reloading anymore, so basically I think we have to manually.
Right. Cool. All right, ready?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm much closer to 60 now.
My update FPS is 60. My tick FPS is 120. Yeah, the game doesn't feel super wonky anymore.
So does that mean that the 3 frames per second was just too much for the CPU to handle? That's weird that it's like consistently the case for both of us, right?
Yeah. And what's your FAOS right now?
60. It's hovering around. It's 66 now and going up.
Okay.
It went back down a little bit.
Yeah,
now it's going way down. And then it went way up. Oh, I think what happened is you got ahead of me and then I sped up. Well, my tick FPS right now is 100. It's hovering around 120, which is what we expect, right? Because we're both in the sped up mode.
Yep.
Okay.
I will say, stuff seems closer. My bullets are actually shooting faster. Yours are much closer to you as a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like markedly closer.
Okay.
Still a lag, but like probably a 50 frame lag instead of a 100 frame lag.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel good about this.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we could slow down though.
Yes.
So yeah, that seems good. So do we I was gonna say why do we want to be running twice as fast? But we do want to be running twice as fast because this is how we catch up. We want to get back down to our rough 60 again, though.
Yeah.
Slow down.
I just had a slight heart attack because my computer monitor went to sleep for some reason.
Oh,
I think
no.
Zoom on Windows doesn't suspend sleep, which is.
Let's see what Twitch thinks.
Funny. I think we're still broadcasting.
Nope. Yeah. It was already caught up to me doing the thing. So let's see, update period. I don't think we actually. Oh, what is going on here? 1 over 60. Oh, interesting. Oh, I've broken the server. So we're trying. This was supposed to be 30 frames per second twice.
Yeah, I think we were playing.
What?
It's not 30 frames per second. It's 120 frames per second, 2 ticks per update. So it's like should be quadruple the simulation speed at that point.
Oh,
right?
This is quad speed. Okay. Yep. Totally. Great.
And yeah. And I think what we're doing is we're trying to compensate for the fact that potentially the problem could be because the update's not being scheduled frequently enough.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've already in lines 22, 23, and 224, we've basically given up the idea that on the slow client, things are going to look smooth. You're going to see potentially double the frame rate at that point because there's basically twice as much territory, or even 4 times as much territory being covered in the same amount of wall clock time on the slow client.
Correct. Yeah, I expect this actually to be sort of a very temporary state of being, and for the user to experience it maybe like for a second.
Yeah.
Or 2 seconds. So I'm hoping this is actually a very rare occurrence. So let's see. We have this thing. If the frames. So if you're more than the minimum frames behind the client, we start sending you speed up messages.
Yeah.
Totally legit. What is our counter argument? If client.frame is great. Let's see. We just want frames ahead.
Well, we have frames behind leader, and
I don't know why this is leader. This is the current client.
Gosh, my monitor keeps blanking out. That's a little scary.
It's annoying.
I'm gonna go ahead and try to disable that. Let's do that.
And you're not on one of the fun LGs that has a Wi-Fi problem.
No.
No, you're on the same Dell I have. Yeah.
I was having issues at one point where it would seem like the signal was getting lost. I think it was because my DVI cable was bent though.
Ooh. Yeah, that's not good.
Let me see. Where do I even find this setting? Screensaver? Gosh. Windows. Lock screen settings?
Oh, I don't know. I've never done it on the Windows.
Change screensaver. Well, mine is wait 5 minutes. But maybe it's a power settings thing.
That's not that long for what it's worth.
It's not. I do find it weird. Maybe I literally was waiting 5 minutes. I don't know what's going on.
Could have been 5. Could have been 5, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the screensaver's coming on because if it did, then I would have to type my password in again. That's the setting that I have right now.
Fair.
So who the hell knows what's going on? It does seem input related because when I move the mouse or do something, the screen comes back on. So there's some shenanigans going on in Windows that I don't know what's going on. Not my power settings. I'll just try turning off the screensaver and just that. Screensaver none. All right.
Cool. I was just mirroring this sucker.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. Okay, and then we got to give this do something with our max frames. What's our max frame behind? Oh, cool. Dot max frame. I wish. Oh, well, that's not what I want at all. Let's see. I wish TypeScript would have already figured this out, but I guess I deleted it. So. Max frames ahead. That. And then what is our config object here? Oh, we just pass it in. Great. Cool. And then we call this from server main. Yeah. So what do you think is a, I mean, we can maybe play with this, but leader cap is like, I don't know, 40, 30? See what that looks like. So if you get 30 frames ahead, we're going to send a slowdown message.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that works. Because that's a lot. That's pretty far ahead, and we really don't need to be. And actually, I guess slowdown is not... Slowdown is not slow. Slowdown is like return to normal, but whatever.
Yeah.
All right, give it a shot. Oh, did you reload?
Oh, I haven't yet.
Oh.
I'm just like, just gawking. All right, so I'm at 120.
I am also at 120. We've both been sped up. What's your frames ahead server?
My frames ahead of server is 45.
Ah, well, we should have. And you're still sped up?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Although I don't know, my tick FPS. Oh, what the hell?
Well, the server's idling a little bit. That's interesting. Oh, do we idle out?
Yeah, and
this?
I'm getting misprediction on my side. It's interesting.
You're getting misprediction. Oh wow. Oh, huh. Yeah.
And it slows down occasionally.
Okay. Let's make sure I got this right. I was doing frames ahead of server is client frame minus simulation frame.
Yeah, that's correct. That is what it means.
Yeah.
This is very complicated to think about because there's a lot of factors that go into like if slowdown means go back to normal, and what is normal? Normal is 60 it should be 60 updates per second
with one tick.
With one tick per update.
Yeah.
And the server should technically go faster than that, right?
Yeah.
Can you be in a state where you are less than 30 frames ahead of the server, but you are more than whatever criteria we sort of satisfied the criteria for speed up. So I guess what I'm getting at here is it might be simpler to reason about if speed up and slowdown were based on the same metric, and they are not right now, right?
Okay. Right. You mean if they're both based on frames behind leader?
Exactly.
Okay. The problem is the person we're probably setting slowdown to is the leader.
That's fine. We want to, right?
Oh, I guess it basically if I see, yeah. If this is like less than or equal to 5, I don't know if we're in this really like
or
if it's 0.
This dot min frames behind client divided by 2 or something like that, right?
Yeah. Oops. Okay. Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah. And maybe to really hammer this home, we can make this an else if.
Mm-hmm. Frames. Yep. Okay. Is there ever... No, because this is the max, so this will be 0 for the leader. Okay, yeah, totally.
And then just one thing that might make this slightly easier to think about, if on line 99 you can reverse the direction of the greater than and flip those around.
Yeah, I like that.
This sort of tells a little bit of a story here, where if the min frames behind, or it might even be, yeah, so if the frames behind leader is more than the min frames behind client, we'll send speed up. Otherwise, if frames behind leader is less than... Actually,
yeah. I see what you're getting at. Yeah.
If you do that, but reverse line 101, maybe this one that seems like is a little bit easier to think about.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If frames behind leader, if your frames behind leader are greater than bin frames behind client, you speed up. This is just a strange. We don't really have a thing to say like max frames ahead or something, so it reads a little funny, but I think this is clearer.
Yeah.
You want to try it? It's rebuilt.
That was a fast rebuild.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'm hanging out at 60-60. How you doing?
My update FPS is 45. Frames ahead of server is 15, so I am the leader right now.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, my update FPS is slower than my tick FPS. I don't know how that's possible.
That means you're in speed up mode, but is it double? Is your tick double your update?
My tick is not double my update. My update is 45. It's hovering around 45 to 46, and my tick update is hovering around 60. Now, Weird. It is possible that I'm like just jumping back and forth between speed up and slow down continuously. You
might be, yeah. Huh. Because I'm holding even at a couple 10 frames ahead of the server, 60-60.
I'm holding pretty even at 16 frames ahead of server, so that makes sense actually. I'm the leader.
Yep.
Right.
You're the leader. You're about 5 ahead of me, which is min frames behind client over 2. So I think you are getting toggled a lot. Which, does it feel bad?
Yeah, it feels juddery for sure. I'm speeding up and then slowing down, which is actually what we would expect, right? Like it's basically there might be a point where you outpace me because you're being told to speed up.
Yep.
And then you outpace me. And during that time, I speed up, so that actually serves as the little thing. So you should be experiencing the same thing, right? You should be experiencing, like, I don't know if you see it on your side.
Well, I'm never 10 frames behind you. So I'm never getting sped up.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, but so check this out. Let me try this, because I want to give you... I want to add another condition to this, which is, if you're approaching this threshold, or if you just are the leader, like you obviously should not be sped up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing misprediction right now, where I'll like drive and then get scooted back by a little bit.
Weird. Let's refresh with this new load.
Yeah, it's weird. Every once in a while, I'll speed up, which means that you are getting ahead of me, which I'm not sure how that's possible. Like if you're never 10 frames behind the leader.
Yeah, I see. I just copied some of these messages out. I think we're actually this just got a lot more interesting. But I'm seeing a lot of idling at frame 949, fastest client at frame 958, and then resuming after one frame of idle, after 4 frames of idle, after 3 frames of idle. So,
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
How useful is that? You go back to the input. See that server processing frame, whatever number of client messages. Should we get rid of that? It feels like basically every single tick that the server will simulate will log out, and that is a potential performance issue, right?
I agree. Yeah. I'm super willing to lose that. Yeah. It's better. I feel better about it in the node process, but I'm with you.
Yeah.
Right. Reloaded.
And now you should, on the server side, you should only see just idles,
which is extremely frequent.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
It's ideally we don't idle, and everybody's kind of like keeping pace with each other.
Because I was gonna say this is happening every frame now.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting like weird misprediction. I think I'm the leader.
You're definitely the leader. Your movement seems a little jittery to me.
Yeah.
You're kind of like starting and stopping the rubber banding a little bit.
I'm trying to figure out how to open the dev tools in Firefox on Windows. Because we disabled the right-click menu as well. So
we disabled the right-click menu?
We did.
Such jerks.
Well, we needed right-click to control the tank.
Oh, that's true. We use the right-click menu.
Exactly.
That's fine.
What is the hotkey in Windows?
It must be somewhere in the menus, which are somewhat inscrutable.
Yes.
I gotta say, that has always been my largest Windows pet peeve, is that, like, just make a menu bar. I just want the menus to be in a place where menus go.
Open web console.
Nice.
Control Shift I. Oh, it's very different. There we go.
It's Shift Apple I on the Mac. So.
I thought it's Command Alt I. Or in Mac.
Oh, you're right. What did I
now my
do?
frames ahead of server is permanently negative right now. Oh no, it's coming back. So I'm simulating back. Back. Okay, now I'm back. I think what was happened is I was basically in a different window, and Firefox just does not continue to prioritize that window. I guess the set timeouts.
Like if I open a new tab, my potentially, yeah. Oh yeah.
That seems undesirable in a lot of different ways. Like if you're playing music, how does it? Yeah. Well,
good question.
We can't. I don't think we should worry about that too much.
Nah. It's interesting though.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely seeing like extreme judder where basically I'll see my update. Basically, I'll see like 44 frames per second, and then like for like a small number of frames, I'll see it speed up to like whatever the hell. And let me try Chrome.
Is it worth?
Just for giggles? Do I have Chrome?
Or Safari for? Oh, you don't have Safari on Windows.
Yeah.
Never mind. You could try Edge.
I don't have the new Edge downloaded. I'm just worthless. I'm gonna get Chrome.
Wow! After they forced that update all the way down your throats.
Did they?
I think Microsoft somehow in the year 2020 got away with a Windows update that.
Oh, I do have
installed the browser.
And it is Edgeium, right? It is actually Chromium.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and restart the server?
Cool. Oops. Oh, no, that's good. Yeah, it's I don't know. I feel like that just would have been a huge antitrust problem back in the day, and somehow this year they were just like, you know what? Everyone else is being worse than us. Here's a browser.
Okay, running an Edge.
Okay.
I'm still seeing very similar behavior. So my update FPS is hovering around 45, which is a very interesting number, isn't it? 45.
Yeah, it really is.
It is like exactly 3/4 of the desired FPS, right? And my tick FPS is 60 or so. What does it mean?
That's also really weird because that's not what our multiplier is, so that shouldn't happen.
The tick FPS and the update FPS should be very similar, right?
Or double, yeah. Well,
can we see where those two things are instrumented again? And maybe we just have a math issue.
Yeah, totally. Both right here.
Update duration sample. Last update at.
Last tick at. No, this looks correct.
It looks very correct, doesn't it? I mean, we could. Yeah, there is no reason why the tick FPS on my side should be any lower. Like the update FPS. Oh wait, I've got these mixed up in my head. I'm sorry. It's just because the ordering in the graphics are reversed.
Oh, you want me to swap them? Let's do it.
Yeah, because update comes first. Okay, this makes a lot more sense. Whew.
Sorry, wait. Render tick update. Do you want this? You want update above tick?
I want update above tick. Yeah.
Okay. Were you just looking at the numbers backwards?
I was getting them backwards. Okay, I mean it makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, totally.
Did that rebuild yet? I'm sorry.
Yep, totally. Yeah, we're in it. Oh, but you refreshed. Oh, and I refreshed.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Server crashed. I was gonna say the other thing we could do is these could be in the same value too. Like we could print them in the same string.
Yeah.
All right, back on.
That's weird.
Not connected?
Okay, there we go. Well, update and tick are not reversed for me. It still says tick update.
Hey, they're not reversed for me either. What? The hell? Is there? Have any of our changes gone out?
Oh, that is an interesting question.
It's a very interesting question. I'm going to kill this process and start it. Damn it.
And there's no errors or anything, right?
Oh, looks clean, though we're not doing TS node anymore. Or we're doing transpile only, but still.
That should be fine.
Give it a refresh, yeah.
Still saying tick above update. Oh, you know what it is? Did you just move those two things around?
I just moved them. You know what else it is? It's the numbers.
Yeah.
I moved the whole block.
Right.
Sorry.
No problem.
These don't render in order.
I feel like we should try and solve that problem.
I would really like to write a text rendering library on top of this.
Oh. Okay, let me reload.
Not sarcastically at all. Yeah, give this a reload. I see update in the correct order now. Okay.
Okay. Whew. Okay, so what's interesting is my FPS is around 42.
For update.
Very strange number. Yeah.
40
or 45. My my render FPS is like just between 41 and 45 in a given time.
What?
My update FPS is a little above 45, between 45 and 50. My tick FPS is 60. So the only way that is possible for the tick FPS to be greater than the update FPS is if I'm occasionally going into like overdrive.
Yeah, I was gonna say
which matches what I'm visually seeing, because I'm seeing judder. I'm seeing like I'm moving smoothly, then speeding up and slowing down.
I was gonna say I was going to add some text to this.
Yeah. The other thing we could do is console log on the clients. Now that I know how to open up the console, and basically just print out when we're speeding up and when we're slowing down on the client side.
It's true. I just didn't want to. That has like even a weirder performance implication for us, right?
If it's happening like frame by frame.
So let's see. What we want is. Well, I'm going to print some red text on the screen, but then we can do that.
And the thing is that the game doesn't keep track of state, so it's going to send redundant speed ups and.
True, that should be fine. Let's see, overdrive. So I'm gonna say if this ticks per update greater than 1, we're in overdrive. It's just gonna be fun. Nope. Yep. All right, bring it. Okay.
Okay, overdrive. Bring on for me. Drive. Overdrive.
Is it just flickering on and off?
That's yeah.
Okay.
And it definitely corresponds to when I'm speeding up, which means then that you're becoming the leader and you're getting ahead of me. But isn't it funny that your frames ahead of server is you're never going into overdrive, right? I don't see it happening.
I'm never going into overdrive. We're also why would we tell you to speed up? Yeah.
Well, okay, here's the thing. This is interesting. Just because my frames ahead of server is really high doesn't mean that that's how far I'm ahead of the server. That is how far I'm ahead of the last server message I got. So if I have high latency over the internet between the server and my client, I'm going to see a very large frames ahead of server value there.
Right. Which would make, like, I'm in this tight lockstep of 0 latency and you're connecting over the network. So like it's not unreasonable.
Yeah.
I just saw overdrive pop up. How interesting.
Because you clicked away from the window, right? And I think the browser doesn't. Yeah. Okay.
I think it was also as soon as I hit save, it started doing that. So the CPU might have started taking browser resources and being like, compile. Give it a reload. I've just turned off speed up and slow down. I just want to see sort of where we end up, because I expect you just fall behind the server.
Yeah. Now I'm in total like. I'm in. What's a good term for me being locked behind, and like, basically, what's the opposite of being in the land of pure prediction? I'm in like the purgatory of being behind the server permanently.
Exactly that. Okay, cool. So I at least feel like this code is correct and keeping our clients alive and doing a moderately right thing. So that's actually sick.
Yeah.
And sort of leaves me feeling like we can optimize it, and maybe we're okay for now.
So here's a metric that we could send potentially is with every server update, we include the last client message that the server received for that client, whatever that frame number is, because we have that for every client. We subtract off the simulation frame and send that to each client. And so basically what we're telling the client is like, how far ahead did the server think you were? Does that make sense? So it's like from the server's perspective, when it simulated this frame, how far ahead were you?
Yeah.
And then we can print that and do the running average of that. Because right now the frames ahead of server is not a useful metric from the client perspective of determining whether it is actually ahead of the server, because all it's saying is like, how far am I ahead of not the server, but the last server message that I received? Right. And so actually a higher number might be bad, because what that means is that like it's taking a long time for the server messages to get to the client, right? And so therefore you're just simulating way ahead of that. It's really more about like, how long is my prediction window? That's my how long is or how out of date from the authentic state is my local simulation.
Yep.
Yeah. And so you're hovering around 10, which means that you're actually
like, I think I am the leader.
You are the leader. Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense.
I'm the leader, and your frames ahead of server are in fact like you're ahead, but you're right. The actual frame that the server sees you on is like way behind me.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say, I'm actually curious about playing with this min frames behind client too. Right now we've got it at a solid 10.
It's a very tight window.
Yeah, like what would this look like at 20. And I guess leader cap can just go away. We're not using this.
We would potentially expect some slowdown because we're simulating more.
You say that, but we've been in this land of like you're 40 frames ahead of the server the whole time. Like your prediction is huge.
Is your build done? I keep reloading it.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna do another save before I did that.
Okay, yeah. I have enough windows open that I.
No, totally. Yeah, I guess I'm very confused that in fact our simulation seems to be cheaper than I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean we're getting kind of.
Okay, now I'm 20 ahead. You look a little choppier, and I see you kind of moving around. So
I feel very choppy, actually.
Okay, great.
Oh wait. Oh no wait. I thought I was you. That's all. This actually feels, believe it or not, smoother for me. I'm still kind of.
I believe it.
I'm still kind of halting from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the overdrive flickering at all, so it could mean that I'm like entering overdrive. Oh, there it was. It really kind of actually feels like I'm experiencing the opposite of overdrive, where like I'm actually like losing.
Well, check out what's going on up here for me.
Yeah.
When I move around, my frame rate's dipping again. So this is the simulation thing kicking in.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
And we witnessed this. So that's actually fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like we understand that. It's probably why 10 is actually so good.
Yeah.
Okay. So you feel smoother. I feel jerkier because I'm suddenly running more frames in my prediction.
Yeah, because you weren't having any problems at all before, and now
Correct.
you're running into now you're CPU bound, right?
Right. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Probably 10 was better than that, right?
Was it better for you?
It wasn't better for me. It was better for you.
But is 20 better for you here?
20 is slightly better, but it's still like every once in a while it'll stop. And I don't. That means that I'm CPU bound as well. Like you're CPU bound and I'm CPU bound, right?
Well, and really, we've gone from a sixth of a second to a third of a second.
Yeah, and I wish I knew why I was CPU bound. Maybe I can do a little profiling on my side. And see. Oh, I've got some console errors. I think it's because our hot reload is not working.
Oh yeah, probably so. Here, give it. I put it at 15. We'll split the difference on good experiences on both our machines. That seems fine, actually.
Mine is like really jerky now.
Really jerky.
And I think it could be because my debugger window is open, and that's just the way Edge behaves.
Oh yeah, do you want to kill that?
Yeah, let me
see how you're doing.
Yeah, it's smoother now as a result of that. So this feels, like in between what we had at 10 and 20, which makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
I'm still getting the occasional jerkiness that I saw at 20, and then I'm also occasionally going into overdrive as well.
I also just got flashed in overdrive for a second, which I think is good.
Yeah, I mean, I think when the buffer window is only 10, the likelihood of us swapping overdrive states is very high because the window is very narrow. So like, you'll race ahead, then I'll race ahead, then you'll race ahead, right? Because it's only like a 5 frame delta that we do this adjustment within, right?
Yep, totally. Interesting. Okay. Well,
should we just live with this for now? Is that?
I think so, because I was gonna say, what comes next in your head for this? Because I feel like we could
shooting each other, which is really challenging.
I was gonna say, let's add another system in the game and then see how totally broken it is, and see if we have to like speed up our simulation.
The other thing that we could do is basically trying to predicting non-local clients. So basically, cool. Like if there was previous frame for a client and we're in prediction land, just copy the input over again, right?
That seems reasonable. Yeah. Let's shoot each other and then do that. I think that sounds great.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna just
to earmark for ourselves in our head, we have to be prepared for the client simulating events that aren't possible for that state. So what I mean by that is there's some systems that may be receiving input from the network, but that input might not actually be valid given other state that is locally being predicted. Like you may be getting damaged based on the local prediction, and therefore, if you get like a fire input, that might otherwise be impossible if it was just coming from like local input. We have to guard from that in every system. So every system has to be aware that you might be getting like inputs that aren't actually valid for that frame, other state, right?
Exactly.
It's coming from the server and it's coming late.
But I think if we continue to, look, we've got an okay system for tracking dirty objects. So it needs to be perfection, right?
Yeah. What we have avoided now that we do slowdown, is neither of us get into purgatory, or if we do, it'll recover from that. Right?
I feel good about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see how. Message.player number. There we go. So this is interesting, actually. I was going to do the player health bar. That seems pretty useful for shooting each other too. But actually, this is a little harder for render. Only a little, though. And I guess we actually we need to hand in the player number, and there are no messages to deal with on this. That's interesting. And then player number is this dot. Okay, I take it back. That's fine.
I just set my audio to mono, so hopefully I didn't just like hose my audio on the stream.
You sound fine.
Good. Good.
Why mono? Are you putting something in?
I don't know if you've watched some stuff on our archive, but you'll hear me kind of shift from channel to channel when I'm the host, because this microphone has like I think in the mode that it's in, you can hear it on either side. That's
so funny. Oh, I have mine in single-sided mode. Okay.
I have mine in cardioid, which I think is.
Isn't that? Yeah, that's this shape.
Yeah, and that's the recommended like single player version of that, because it does have the dialogue mode where people are sitting on either side of the mic. But I tend to move around a bit. I'm not super stable. My mic discipline is bad.
Man, we have so many skills to work on for. This is actually, I was going to say, renderer is not part of SimState. Just keep that pure. This feels like a vanity exercise only, but I just want some of our games to be back. Let's see, and what is the renderer's type? A canvas 2D renderer.
I think it's an. Do we have an app? Does that implement an interface? Canvas 2D renderer.
iRender. There you go. Yep. That seems correct. Nice.
Well, there's a problem here, though. We don't actually want to render in the update.
We don't. This is in render. Player health bar is in render. It just gets the NC manager.
Oh, I see. It's a system. Got it.
Just bring in the systems back one by one. Yes, give that a reload. That should be.
Yeah. Organizationally, it may be useful to separate the systems that simulate versus the systems that render into two different categories eventually. Right?
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
But I mean, effectively, like right now, all it is just again a mechanism for copying code out of the client or the server and then moving it into some other file. Right? That's all the systems mean right now. There's no higher level semantics.
Totally. So actually, this is really interesting, but it's upset that the player is not damageable.
Oh, okay. Is that because we have an exclamation point somewhere?
It is, but we also set the damage like still in the player constructor.
Is my every player, and so every player should have that, right?
You know what? But here's the problem. We just need to return if there is no player for this. Because you're right. It is doing this, but render is immediately running. If not player, return.
Yeah. And then the exclamation point doesn't be there anymore.
Oh yeah, it's silly.
If you want to speed up the pace of development right now and not want to wait for me to reload the window, you can update server.js and set the player number to 1. You can even turn hot reloading back on as well.
That's okay. I think we're about to do the thing.
Yeah, and I've got my
Oh, I see what you're saying. So if I said player server main, is that where the max players is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Should we also update the debug draw so everything's right justified? Just so it doesn't overlay our HUD, our game HUD.
Yeah, why not? That seems very reasonable. But how do we do that?
So we can do text align max for the H align, and that's going to be everything, unfortunately. So we have to like rename it and then I think we have to just basically change the X coordinate so that it is the edge of the screen. So does the render know what it is? Yeah.
I getcha. Yeah, I think we have that in here somewhere because we've drawn other stuff on the screen. Yeah, viewport dimensions. There you go. But I am going to give this a return. And
oh, you're going to set a temporary? That makes sense.
Yeah, because we got to define some stuff in here.
Yeah.
Const right edge equals.
It's,
is it
0?
That's it? Oh, okay, great. Then yeah, so every one of these can just be right edge minus 10. And yeah, where is the hot reload? Let's do it.
Just go to main.tsx and uncomment. There you go.
Brilliant. Who's blowing up my phone? Someone else.
Yeah, I mean, right. If you want to take like 10, 15 minutes to take care of that, feel free. Go for it. I'm serious.
Thanks, Jeff.
I'm serious.
What? No.
Everything's casual on a Thursday night.
Everything is casual.
Yeah.
What's happening is I'm getting a bunch of Signal messages about someone trying to host a Jackbox party, and I'm doing something else.
Jackbox? Is that good?
Oh, man, have you never Jackboxed?
No, I mean, I used to play You Don't Know Jack way back in the day.
It's very similar.
Do they still have Uber Nostrum?
What?
There was like, they used to do like little ad bits between like game segments, and they were like advertising this thing called Uber Nostrum, and there was just like this like soundboard button that was this guy going Uber Nostrum.
Sadly, not enough of that. No, I think it takes itself a little more seriously, which is unfortunate.
Oh,
but not that seriously. But every game is distributed, so you join from a phone, and they have a lot of drawing games and answer games. But it's really, really clever because you only need one copy, and then you get like a bunch of like cool input stuff done with it.
And
so
you can get on Zoom and do that, right?
Yeah, because everyone can Zoom, and then everyone sees their own Jackbox. Like they have their own input, so there's no like weird lag. So it's a really good remote party game.
Yeah.
Yeah, highly recommend actually, and like works great on the Switch. It's super chill.
Yep.
Let's see. So we were gonna do time to put damageable in here. I'm scared. This is gonna be great. Damageable. Come on. All right. That's gonna start running. Actually, let's grab the Do we need DT for this? We don't. We really just need our entity manager. This is totally fine. State.
Oh, and we factored it out to simulate. This is great. I had the sudden panic. I'm like, oh shit, we're gonna have to copy and paste this to a bunch of places.
No, we did it.
But we are so good.
Yeah, I feel great about this actually. Sim state. And then sim state. Wow, and the only thing we needed the game for was dying?
Oh shoot, our trees are damageable. That's why they're showing boxes.
Uh-huh.
Bang.
And we're getting close on this one too already. Let's see. So debug draw. Yeah, this is gone. That's okay. Let's see. We might need the player number. We're gonna leave out the. Now we're gonna leave out you died too. We'll deal with that later. Okay, that's actually it.
The you died stuff is gonna be complicated to deal.
Yeah. I'm just gonna punt on that. Okay, so. Yeah.
Which system are we in, right? Damageable?
We're in damageable, but I get the sense that we might actually need to put a...
Is there an attack system as well?
Yeah, we need attack. Yep. Great minds, because I was like, this only feels like half of the system.
So attack determines collisions. Damageable applies damage. Is that right?
Yes.
So do we need to create a new client message that transfers that knowledge?
Our simulation should still be fully deterministic.
Oh, you're right. So inputs, yeah. All we need is the input, yeah.
Yeah, I feel I want to keep leaning into that, and I
Okay.
think we get to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So let's find out.
And then whichever system actually modifies the player, then we also need to we have to checkpoint them.
Yeah, we gotta. Okay, great.
That is gonna like fucking kill us.
It sounds really annoying, and it sounds like it's about to be really annoying yet again. Yep. Yep.
Now,
okay. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way around that besides turning on a debug mode that like snapshots the state between every frame and says, "Oh, you do not appear to be checkpointing in this one variable system," and there's divergence.
Yeah. Yep. How do I guess this is just a. Does underscore in TypeScript not? Ugh. Yes, lint is.
Underscore should work.
Thought so. TypeScript is fine. It seems. Oh no, TypeScript is also not okay with it.
Maybe it's not smart enough to deal with the list comprehension, or not the list comprehension, the list destructuring. It's fine if you.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
That's unfortunate.
Damage. Yeah, this is. What an interesting choice this is. I guess I'm gonna. Here, let me just do that.
Oh wait, we are updating the health here. We're updating the damageable directly. So what the hell does the damageable system do? What does it even do? Does it determine death?
It determines death. Yeah,
so this is like more like the death system than it.
I think we've said that before. Yeah, that sounds familiar. We could rename it.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. How? Oh, we have a register particle emitter function. Delightful. I want to give this a type though, or do I just want to copy the whole thing? Shooter uses it. Oh, man, I've been going about this all wrong. What a dummy. I caused a whole hullabaloo just to do this, and I forgot to use it. It's because of the particle emitter bullshit.
Yeah. This is some next level TypeScript and then this pick type stuff.
I love pick type. I'm really glad you're into this.
Yeah.
I think pick type is sort of, I don't know. This is TypeScript 301 now.
Well, I wish, I don't know if TypeScript is ever going to be this smart, but I wish it would tell us if we're picking too much. Because ideally we want to basically define the minimum amount.
Mm-hmm.
Which we could do, for example, if we were listing every single thing that we needed to pass into to the system simulate as separate arguments. I think since everything is kind of like at the top level, then the linter will know which ones you're using and which ones you aren't. But because we're passing in like this big blob of things.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's fine. I'm cool with that. Mm-hmm. The only way we would get around that is if TypeScript had like keyword arguments.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Which would be very, very nice, because then we wouldn't have ordering problems at that. The reason why passing in objects is superior to just separate arguments is because order doesn't matter. You have to like basically name properties a little bit more. It's got less rope to hang yourself with, but then we would get around that with keyword arguments.
Yeah. I found a case for target ID.
Oh, good.
So we need like messages dot frame or something. Sip state. That looks right. What are you upset about?
It is an object.
Oh, thank you.
Again, for the same reason you're just talking.
Yep, totally. Oh, and particle emitter is also optional because some of our. Oh, interesting. Yep, we got to do that. Okay. A good reason not to use a bang here. Cool. And then let's do the exact same thing over here. If this works out, this really is like, I feel like half of our system is back too.
Right, and then we need to be checkpointing for both attack and damage roll, right? Mm-hmm. Or the soon-to-be death system, which I love.
Attack and death. Okay, so let's look in checkpoint here. So we build a list of damagers and damageables. Mm-hmm. Seems reasonable. And only if there's a hit do we mark damageables as. So if we have a hit, and is this a single hit? That's interesting. What if there's multiple hits? Oh no. Oh, we're going through every damager. Never mind. Yeah. Okay. So if a damager is doing a hit, we have to mark them both as
Not both, just the.
We delete the damager immediately, so we have to checkpoint this bullet.
Got it. Does mark for deletion automatically checkpoint?
Oh, that's a great question. I guess. Should it? Could it? Register does.
Where else do we mark for deletion? Nowhere, right? This is the first time that we've done it.
Yeah.
So I feel like it should just do it.
So should we do? Well, look at this. To delete. Oh, this is actually what mark for deletion is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Could it go in when we register uncommitted gets the ID? We need like is it undeleted?
Oh, we need a new list is basically what
Right.
you're saying.
Yeah. I'm going to start with that very dumb name and just do this, but yeah. Oh, and it's actually, God, it's not a string set, is it? It's,
Well, it can be of the ID.
you know what it is? We can just checkpoint it right here. I think that'll work. Because that's basically what this is, right? We mark for deletion.
And then we copy the whole entity.
And then we save the entity,
Yeah.
right? And then checkpointing copies it back unless we commit, at which point we just toss the checkpoint. Yeah, okay. We'll try it.
And to refresh our memory, what the checkpoint does is it says that an entity was modified during this frame. Either it was killed or deleted. Either it was just modified or deleted.
Correct.
And when we
yeah.
when we perform reconciliation, we'll make sure to restore that entity, either just copying its state back or creating it wholesale, so that it reappears back in the list. Right.
Did you write this or did I write this? Or is this just a typo I made? It's damageable to do? I think
I don't know.
Oh, wait, something has gone horribly wrong here, actually. Great. Let me just there. All right, that's still there, though. That's really funny.
I think it might have gotten moved from the line.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yep. How did that even happen, man? That looks correct to me. Okay. So here we checkpoint our target ID and our attacker ID.
Well, it's going to get checkpointed by mark for delete, right? The attacker.
Great point. Does checkpoint need the whole entity? Checkpoint entity, I'm sorry.
That we can rename it checkpoint. I think it makes sense to do that.
I think checkpoint is the name of our function. Or our data, but yeah.
So the internal one could be checkpointed entities. We're probably not going to refer to it that much.
Fair. Checkpointed entities. And then, yeah, let's rename this symbol to just...
You're getting into this VS Code magic.
Yeah, you've opened my eyes to...
Yeah, you just got to get used to find all references now. And then your training will be complete.
Man, someday it'll happen.
Yeah. What was the first editor that you used that had fast open? Like, hit a hotkey, type in like a piece of the name, and then.
Oh, Sublime.
Sublime. So TextMate didn't have that.
Didn't I use Sublime first? Oh, TextMate. When did each of these come out?
Yeah. First time I ever had that feature was 2008. I'm sure Eclipse had it, but I used a plugin for Visual Studio, like OG Visual Studio, called Whole Tomato something tools. I forget the actual name, but it had like some really cool stuff, and it had find all references. It had like fast open file, and it was Visual Assist. Yes, love it.
Visual Assist is a Visual Studio extension now.
No, it always was. It always was.
Oh, it always was.
Yeah.
Oh, but this was actually like old Visual Studio.
OG Visual Studio, yeah, for C++.
Oh, this is like ReSharper, which is probably the Ruby mine. Oh, yeah.
The .NET version.
Ugh. I like this content farm article I just found comparing Sublime Text and TextMate, where Sublime Text is the number 6 editor and TextMate is the 18th editor, and they're just like, you should use Sublime.
Are these all like machine learned, this stuff?
100%, yeah. Yeah, I had some friends work at a company that basically made these. And like, man, what a bad company that was.
And pretty soon, you know the thing where like an article in a newspaper will quote Wikipedia, and Wikipedia will quote the article. You know, like I'm sure we're in that state, but with like every kind of listicle kind of like content farm thing that's
I think you're right. Yeah.
The worst is searching for alternatives to stuff. It's like, oh, I got this one product. I want an alternative to this thing. You type that into Google or whatever search engine you're using, and you just get like 10 of those different like content farm things, and they're all useless. They're all completely useless.
Oh, they're horrible.
Whoa.
Oh man. It's laying down. No, sorry, I reloaded because I wanted to reset it and I forgot I had to save the server first. We built a napalm gun?
Yeah. Is it creating new particles every single time? During the
it might be. I feel like we have a couple of things to fix here, but like, oh, I love it.
But we're deduping. That's why we have that register particle emitter thing.
Yeah. Wow. So I think one thing is that I haven't actually finished checkpointing stuff yet.
Oh, because it's the death system. Yeah,
but I love the way. So you click once and it fires a bullet that like moves through things, and then you click again, you get your explosions that are stuck. And then things undestroy themselves too.
This looks pretty good right now. This looks about what we would expect.
It sure does. So why was it so busted? When I'm not moving, nothing is happening. Excuse me?
That's fascinating. Is it that
the game's not crashed?
And it's not the render, right? The render's still happening every game.
Mm-hmm. Let's finish checkpointing because this is very interesting. So let's see. We've got we're checkpointing. Oh, sorry, this is the shooter. The shooter is fine. Let's look at the attack and the damageable. So here we checkpoint the target. Do all this, and then we actually don't modify anything here, do we?
Oh, we don't delete anything?
No. Well, we delete the entity.
Okay,
we do death.
Okay, so but that'll checkpoint.
Yeah.
Right.
Then we register a particle emitter.
Okay, so we're done. Theoretically.
Done. It works so well.
Let's reevaluate is checkpoint the thing that we want in mark for deletion?
Great question. Yeah. I want to make sure I'm not modifying anything else here.
I also just realized.
Mm-hmm. What'd you realize?
That the simulation technically becomes non-deterministic because we lose update order. When we delete things and put things back in, the order in which we iterate over the entities changes.
Poop.
So
damn.
I think the entity manager probably needs an iterator that sorts by ID, and then that sucks.
Sort of, but it's kind of what we already were thinking of doing anyway.
Yeah, we were
like
thinking about doing that, right?
And we've done so much object.keys everywhere, which will be, if it was sorted, be correct. So.
Okay, fair enough.
But I hear you. That'll just subtly move out of sync bit by bit. Oh man, what the hell? Okay.
Unless our IDs become pure integers, and we allow gappy, we allow for a gappy array, which seems also horrible.
So why does this work perfectly when I'm moving? That's really my main question. Like when I'm moving, the game is okay.
This is a problem locally, right? Like it's like the particle emitters don't even update until you move. Is that right?
Yeah, that particle is stuck.
And if you move a little bit, it'll simulate.
Yep. And also, like, this damage will go away. And, like, we're fine. Oh, interesting. We've also, check it out, we're fully idled here.
Okay. So did we screw up the simulation? Is somehow like simulation tied to user input right now?
Possibly. You know what it is? We've lost... The server should be sending me a message every tick, right?
The server...
And it is. This is happening.
The server does, and it's just like it should be like the input should be empty.
Right.
You're not doing anything.
But here we've stopped. Something like my idle loop has stopped.
Yeah, so it seems like the client simulation is just frozen until there's
after 1400 frames of idle.
Yeah. So is something weird about our set timeout? Is that what's going on here? Or are we...
That's interesting. We actually never would have even noticed this. Because nothing really happened, right?
Oh, yeah. We might not have noticed it before. Right.
This is the first time like an effect happens after I stop pressing a button. So, yeah.
Well,
Look at that. My bullet is stuck.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. You can barely see that pixel there.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like before, if we stopped driving, the bullets would still animate.
I sure thought so. And they do. You know what's happening though? It's dead. It's marked. It's like a. Oh, that's so cool.
We just invented armor piercing. This is like the most oblique way of implementing armor piercing bullets.
Every time I think the game is done being like a rando art generator, it like comes back with like Korean War Simulator or something.
But what great ideas for weapons. I love the idea of doing the... I want a railgun in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's like slow rate of fire, but like instantaneously hits like a single line projection of entities.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yes.
Yep. This game is going to be Bolo, but with like worms style weapons, and honestly, that's wonderful. Like, yeah, I like all that.
I also like the idea of a gun that doesn't fire right away. Like when you click, it like has to like load around. Like maybe that's the railgun, right? It charges up the EM something or other. The mass driver, you know.
Interesting. This bullet also lasts too long. When I shoot it this way, it goes off screen. It's not supposed to. What the heck? Okay, so yeah.
And you're never in speed up. You're never going into overdrive, right? We're never seeing that.
No. I still have that. That print is still there because I really like it.
Yeah.
Many frames of idle. So
I feel like we didn't have this weird idle behavior before. But then again, that was because we had multiple clients. Maybe that was the thing that was sustaining it.
Yeah, so I see two things we could do. Yep. One is checkpointing here nonsense?
What if we get rid of it?
Okay, we're gonna push a 2 delete. Well, I think. Ooh, I'm not connected to the server. Oh, I have hot reload. I don't need to reload at all anymore. Deleting it does nothing. That's interesting.
And the consequence of not checkpointing it is that the client will essentially not be aware of the presence of an entity during reconciliation because it would have already deleted it, right?
Correct. Yeah. But for what it's worth, this behavior persists. So that's interesting.
We should rewrite it in Rust. I was looking at this the other day.
You keep joking, but it's going to happen.
It might actually happen. So Rust has, I think, a fairly complete implementation of the web API, which is amazing. It can talk to the DOM, it can talk to web audio, it can talk to WebSockets, it can talk to... Yeah.
I got it.
You got it.
Well, so we delete this. This bullet should be deleted, but then we checkpoint it and pull it back. But I think what's happening is like the lifespan continues forward. It's like it makes it to the frame past where it should have hit, and then it generates a bunch of hits. Can't explain why they're stopping, but something's going really wrong here.
Okay. Let's play. Can we take a look at the code? Oh, wow, that was cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah. There used to be a website called I Get Your Fail. It was a Tumblr kind of thing, and it was all just like horrible. Epic failures in the field of game development. Yeah, 2013. Yeah, and it's just got like a bunch of images of blogspot.com, blast from the past, and there's just all these like hilarious graphical like errors and stuff like that. Boy, they're digging deep though. Like when I was looking at it, it was just like eyeballs outside of like the face geometry and that kind of thing.
Whoops.
Oh yeah, nice. Pertinent. That was a prescient thing from before.
Oh, this is kind of beautiful. I love it. I see the appeal of this blog. I also like that PhotoBucket has really gone heavy on this.
Yeah. In case you weren't aware, PhotoBucket is a thing.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I will say my favorite graphical glitch is the Assassin's Creed eyeball glitch.
Uh-oh.
Have you seen this? There was just entire cutscenes that played like this.
Yeah, I mean this was the I think early on in I Get Your Fail, it was all about the eyeballs hovering outside of the face geometry.
It makes total sense because like you've got the model and you got the things that are moving around inside of it.
Yeah.
And I can totally see how you get those wrong.
I think.
Ooh, God. Yeah. Okay, this is great. Sorry, you distracted me.
It was a welcome distraction. Gosh, these failures are really cool, but I don't get it. I do not get our fail right now.
Same. I want to find the biggest. Oh wait. Okay, hang on. This is not relevant to anything.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just enjoying myself.
Yeah.
NBD. Oh wow! I don't know how I did that, but now it's stuck. Okay.
The whole game is stuck.
Let me just screenshot this. No, just my particle emitters are stuck. The game is fine.
Yeah. Awesome.
So mark for deletion? Question mark.
Yes. And the damageable is coming from the target. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So this is checkpointed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a question. So let's say we're looking at our player. This is a class. What's our deep clone doing?
Should be doing the right thing.
Should be doing the right thing? Okay.
Should be.
Because I remember we moved transform all the way into a whole different system to make this happen. That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar, right?
Vaguely. So what's the transform? The transform system is just checkpointing and then updating. It's checkpointing if there's a delta, right?
But specifically, we turn transform into this data object. You know what? It contains a bunch of vec2, so
yeah, it should be fine. The deep clone is fine.
Okay.
I trust the Lodash people with my life.
That's probably a safe bet, to be honest.
It might actually be true. Like, you probably go to a hospital right now, and your ventilator is running V8 inside of it. You know what I mean?
Oh gosh, well this year the ventilators are probably running a ton of JavaScript.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're in JavaScript, and someone is confusing callbacks and promises. I guarantee you.
Oh. Oof.
Because
Time to
async
move fast.
programming is impossible.
Move fast and break some things. Yep. Oh. But for what it's worth, I look for opportunities to do fewer class duplications when we have mostly
Yeah.
numbers. But
I mean, this really isn't doing anything, right? It's just almost straight data, except for the hitbox.
yeah, but I don't think this is our problem.
No. The fact that the simulation appears to halt means that the particle emitter update is happening in a place where we halt it, right?
Mm-hmm. That's correct. And that should be in render. Are we?
The particle emitter update is an update, right? Or is it in render?
Do we update it?
Yeah.
It's okay. Great.
So this is kind of where it should be. I don't know. Like every tick, it's just update the ticks.
Yep. Is there anything that would change? Like we took out everything that changed the game state.
Can we
totally
disable either the processing or broadcast of the speed up and slow down? So let's just take overdrive out of the picture, just so we can eliminate some variables. Oh, this doesn't look.
Oh, yeah. This is why I did it. Oh, it's so pretty.
The error messages. I like them too.
No, it's this thing of beauty. Some of these things are dependent on the messages, and they don't exist. There's not a message every frame, which is totally acceptable.
Oh, haha.
Yeah, and that's this error.
Wait.
Yeah.
What is the message? Oh, why does it depend on a message?
Because we need the current frame, and I think this is nonsense. This is a bad way.
Pass the frame in.
This is a bad way to get the current frame. Yeah. Yeah, I chose poorly.
Is that the only reason why we're passing the message in like that?
I think so, yeah. For this particular system. I mean, really, we've got this register particle emitter function, but like, register particle, does this even need to know what the frame is? Can it read it out of the context? It totally can, can't it?
Yeah, you know what frame you're on.
You always know what frame you're on. That's an even better. That would just be this dot.
Oh, are we passing the frame into the client update still?
We might be, but simulation frame is what we want.
Oh, okay, yeah. Is this the right thing to do? What do we use that value for?
We let every entity generate one emitter per frame. So I think this is correct, because really, we're just trying to like not have things generate 50 emitters, which it looks like they're doing.
Okay.
So that means that that's gone. That's gone. That's good. This was a silly inclusion there.
There is something weird about our client messages that we pass into systems, including the frame in the first place.
It seems unnecessary, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just means our abstraction for client message is doing too much. It's trying to be both a client-server synchronization thing, and it's trying to be like the client-to-client internal thing. And that, I would claim. It's almost as if we need like a notion of frame events versus messages. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, I'm down with that. Okay, so. Oh, so slow. But
that looks healthier. That does not look healthy. Are we getting console log errors?
Same error, yeah. So let's look in damageable. Oh, that's interesting. That line isn't there anymore. I'll just reload. I'll kill the server. How? Okay, wait. I can look for that specific line. Simstate.messages 0. Yeah, it's totally not in there.
Yarn clean, yarn dev.
Both good options. I saved this file specifically to. Okay.
So that looks pretty good.
That looks pretty good.
Why is it so slow though?
Great. Yeah, my FPS has just been cut in half. Oh my God, does it get faster when I have a smaller window? That's unpleasant. We got our explosive trees back. That's cool.
Is it slow because we added a system that like does a shit ton of? It is because like the attack system right now is like evaluating
everything
collisions against all 10 billion entities in the entire level right now, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is annoying. So I feel like that sort of speaks to some stuff around doing quadrant stuff like you were talking about.
Yeah, space partitioning basically.
Mm-hmm. Let's bring the server back in. Let's get you in here and shoot at each other a little bit.
Oh, can you shoot the other tank? Is that possible?
Oh, great question. So possible.
And can you kill it? Yes, that's exactly what we wanted to see.
I'm thrilled. It's getting weird, but let's do it. Max player. Oh, server main. Player count is 2 and client hot reload.
I expect greatness here. Nothing but the best.
This is it. This is the first time we're going to play a game against each other.
Yep.
How cool is that?
Yep. All right, I'm restarting. Here we go. You're frozen on my end.
Oh, you're frozen on my end. Oh, has the server crashed?
Did it crash? It must be. Because my frames ahead of server is like hundreds right now.
Oh, you know what it is? The server was in the middle of a rebuild. Give it a reload. We both disconnected. Okay. Because it disconnected us.
All right, it's slow and choppy, but this feels really fun. Okay, I hit you, but my health is. I'm getting hit, but my health is still really high. I think we're not actually hitting anything because like what we see as a hit, not actually hit because we're actually moving away. Well, you're hitting me a little bit.
Oh, so wait, but shouldn't our hits be? If I see the bullet hit you, shouldn't it be deterministic?
No. When you see a bullet hit you, it's in prediction land.
Okay. Yeah, you've hit me like twice. Interesting. Well, I can hit you that way.
Yeah, and I just died.
Yes.
And did my game freeze?
I mean, you got nothing you can move, so I guess so.
Well,
the server crashed.
Come on. What is this? I can't like opened a window that I can't close in Edge. Horrifying. It's Control Shift I. Unable to get property shooter of undefined or null reference. So that's a bug.
It turns out that's the error that crashed the server too.
Oh.
Same simulation. Hey, Jeff, we just played a multiplayer game.
We did. And you beat me. It's skills.
I do have the lead skills. That's really cool.
It's great.
Dang. Wow.
So here's the problem: is we are shooting at past versions of ourselves, right? And because we're not doing, there's like two things we have to do. First, we have to do non-local client prediction. So we have to like replicate the inputs. We also need some kind of solution to saying that the server's like, I will allow you to miss a client according to my simulation, as long as you are within a certain tolerance. And that's
you mean hit? Like will allow not imprecise hits essentially?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a lot of different ways you could do that. I don't know which one's the right way, or if there's any right way, but like you could say, the client could tell the server, hey, I think I hit this guy. That's a message. Like, I think I hit this guy. And then the server will say, okay, yeah, it looks like you're kind of within range, so that's a hit. Or the server could literally try to simulate what that client saw, just to try to determine the hit. So the server could actually say, okay, well, I know that you had this, you saw this, your perspective on the other client was 20 frames ago with this set of inputs, and so I'm gonna play that back, and if you're like, I can kind of like predict what your view of the world was when you hit it, and if that seems accurate, then you did all you needed to do to satisfy the contract of shooting. So I'm going to count that as hit, even though that's deviated from my state of the world.
Yeah. Hey, reload real quick. Can you hop back in?
I will do that. Yeah.
One thing I was wondering too is, I feel like and I don't know if you can see this on Zoom, but like, is my movement in Zoom and my movement in the game different? Like, am I moving before? Do you see me move in Zoom before I move in the game?
Try moving in Zoom now. It's pretty close, but it's
pretty
hard
close.
because like we're basically racing between the game latency and the Zoom latency, and I would actually wager that the game latency is probably less than the Zoom latency at this point.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, one of the things that's a little odd is I'm basically seeing your input half a second behind, like your movement, our movement for each other is precise, but half a second behind where it should be. And I wonder what we could do to make that more correct. And I feel like actually the input prediction seems like a really solid way to, like, my shots will be more accurate if you're moving left and I see you moving left, like on the correct frame on my side too, instead of being n frames behind me.
Yeah. And so what's going to really suck with the input prediction, if we do it naively, is that I'm always going to pop back.
Yep.
Because however long the latency is between your simulation and and the last inputs that you receive from foreign client is however much like incorrect prediction is going to be there. Right?
Totally. Interesting. Okay. Oh man, so much progress. This is great. There's so much to do. I'm just like really happy about this.
Happy is one emotion that you could have. I feel almost like a little bit overwhelmed thinking about it right now.
It's gonna be hard.
At least we can destroy trees together. Maybe we can make this a tree destroying game.
I was gonna say, well, this could be co-op because we could attack these turrets very easily.
We work for a major beef producer in Brazil.
Oh,
Deforesting the.
oh,
What was that? I'm getting this little like not sign.
what?
This is Edge that I'm playing in, and like every once in a while there'll be this little overlay where I'm shooting, and it'll show a little red circle with a slash through it. I wonder if it means that like, you can't render the cursor. Dropping frames.
Is that our
Very
old right-click mode? That's not even the game, so that's impossible.
It might be the old right click. I don't know what that's the result.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of misprediction right now. I'm kind of popping back and forth.
Yeah, I felt a little bit of that too. It'd be. I mean, we can make a co-op game and get rid of all these problems, but that's not 100% fun.
Well, as long as, well, it'd be hard because we're not getting shot at, and the enemies aren't moving. As soon as we have either of those things, either things that attack us that are moving, or enemies that are, or targets that are moving. As long as the relative positioning between things matters and they can change over time, we're gonna run into this problem.
It's true. I guess we could predict turrets more accurately, but still, if they're tracking your movement, their accuracy is immediately out the window. Okay.
Do you see me? I guess you can't see. You see me blowing up the walls here.
100%. Yeah, you're killing it. Literally.
I like blowing up walls. I just like tearing.
I mean, this is great. Look at that. We're buddy tanks now. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Except
You can make this game
you.
about vandalism. Vandalizing inanimate objects.
I mean, wasn't this going to be about stealing a police cruiser and going on a rampage at some point?
It definitely is going to be like, oh. For some reason, like, Edge loses mouse focus. Take down my inputs board.
That's what you get for living on the edge.
Yeah. God.
So I think, I mean, this is freaking great. Maybe next time one of the things for us to think about is performance and
just start
space.
Yeah, partitioning things.
Yeah, space partitioning and figuring out. I'm curious. I want to look it up and see if there is any sort of algorithm we can run to like. I feel like we shouldn't have to reapply our simulations so dramatically, but we do. But like maybe there is a prediction simulation loop that actually is a lighter thing that only runs. I don't know. It's hard. The entire thing is important. So, we made a multiplayer game.
We totally did. Everything that we've done so far assumes like determinism, and it could be the case that we'd probably get better short-term results if we weren't deterministic, but it feels like in the long run, if we're not deterministic, it'll just come back to bite us, because we'll just be in like iterations of faking it, and it'd be so brittle, right? Like if it wasn't deterministic,
I don't want to. Okay. I feel like I keep coming back to Fall Guys versus Remnant from the Ashes, which is the Dark Souls like we've been enjoying in our spare time.
Yeah.
But Remnant feels precise. Like when we do like friendly fire, it feels like the bullet actually like immediately goes where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
And Fall Guys is the exact opposite. I think it's totally non-deterministic, and it doesn't matter because they've like made that the game.
Yeah.
But I don't think it works for this, and I don't want to lean into it if we don't have to.
Yeah, at some point it probably doesn't matter in Fall Guys. They're not like trying to like run a competitive tournament, right?
Even if they did, like sometimes you just get funny physics.
Yeah, sometimes you just get fucked, right? That's basically it, right?
Yeah, and it's a game about funny physics, and that's like totally that's the whole thing. So I think like it works there.
How did you take damage just now? I wasn't shooting at you.
Did I just have an explosion? I didn't. Ooh, I'm starting to fall behind the server though. Uh-oh. Getting popped into overdrive occasionally.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this red overdrive label, frankly.
Yeah, I think we should make it sticky. Like, I think if you get into overdrive, it should have a countdown timer and just draw itself for like 10 frames.
We can do that. I almost like the blink even more because it shows just how fast that message is happening.
It's true. But maybe we should put it in the middle and make it like 256 point font with a little bit of alpha so it doesn't completely block the action, but mostly blocks action.
Yep, I'm sold.
Yeah. We're not going to get anywhere with this game. We're just going to go down the cul-de-sacs of particle emitters, screen shakes, giant text, because that's what game development is all about.
It's going to turn into a game about game development, which is great. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I don't know. How many games are metaphors for the process in which they were made?
Oh man, probably way too many.
Yeah.
Every Jonathan Blow game ever.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, and like every game is just about these Sisyphean repetitive tasks that seem to be existentially pointless.
Jeff, no matter what we do, I am not putting a video at the end of our game that includes our game development piss jar. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna like draw a hard line there.
Oh, Is that what that was supposed to be? We're talking about the witness, right? Is that what that was supposed to be?
I think at the very end there was just a jar of pee by his desk. Like it was low, you know, it wasn't like focused on, but it was just there.
So yeah, but my interpretation of that was that you were plugged into a game, like the game is like a simulation, but not in the literal sense. The game, like you are a character that themselves is in a simulation inside the game. And you, by beating the game and getting to the secret ending, your character wakes up from that simulation and has been plugged into a catheter the entire time, right?
I like that better. That's a much happier interpretation. I'll go with that.
Okay, but I really hope that was actually Jonathan Blow. Right?
That's at least what the internet believed for a hot minute.
Yeah, go big or go home. If you're gonna do that shit, use your actual pee, right? You can better believe that if we involve a catheter in this game whatsoever, we're gonna perform real life experiments with our own urine. Mark my words. Twitch world, you have heard me swear to this right now.
Oh god, if it goes in that direction, I guess I'm down.
Yeah,
sure. All right, well, on that,
I think I have bodily fluids on the mind because our foster dog has just basically run roughshod over our surfaces. He's just like,
oh no.
Yeah.
My new cat's had a solid month of peeing on the bed, and it was
on
bad.
The bed, on your bed,
on my bed.
But do you have like a covering around your mattress, or
we did after that? Yeah. Yeah, bought a waterproof thing after that. But the real solution was no more cats in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Until they learned, and then many months longer. So.
Yeah. If anything, this dog has gotten worse over the times. Like for a while, like because he's 2 years old. He was house trained at some point, but then I think he got out of his groove a little bit by being in a shelter and being in isolation because he was sick for a while. Right? They had to isolate him from animals. And I think he got out of his groove, and so. By God, the only reason why we haven't kicked him to the curb is because he's just so cute and affectionate. You know what I mean? It's like
that's
this feast or famine thing. Yeah.
It's truly the highs and lows of pet ownership right there.
It is not an unconditional relationship whatsoever. It is very much like this, like exercise in extremes. I'm permanently in overdrive right now. Look at that. Oh, that's because
I killed the server.
I am now 18,000 frames.
I'm only 5,000. That's fascinating. You're just running faster.
Yeah, and then my gun is a solid spray of bullets, right? Very entertaining. Oh, I killed these walls in like milliseconds.
Oh, damn. Overdrive sounds great.
Overdrive is great. I mean, it's what, 4 times as fast, right?
I guess so, and I guess without the server, you're really right.
I'm very much enjoying myself right now.
So we should make the game 4 times faster.
We make the game 4 times faster, and then actually don't have multiplayer.
Okay. Wow, dude! We're playing multiplayer.
Yeah, man.
That's so cool. Just blows
can't
my
hit
mind.
each other really, but whatever. Whatevs.
You can't hit me.
That's true.
The trash talk has begun.
Okay, fine. Dominic DeGrati. Good. Right, because the hits don't have like it's basically if you're closer to where the server is, you're gonna hit things more accurately. You have a better chance because like I basically in order for me to like actually hit you, I'd have to lead the shot, right? The shot would have to lead your motion, and you'd have to continue in that direction.
Right, dramatically. Like you have to lead me by
whatever the lag is, right?
and I have to lead you by 1/10 of a second. Yeah. I also my solution was just to drive the tank into you, firing constantly, and hope that I survived, and you didn't, and it worked.
Yeah.
I figured the delta would be the smallest there, but actually no, you could have still been a half second ahead of me.
I would like to think that like. I've never come close to my potential as a human being or like come close to the ceiling at which my innate talents can lead me. And yet I feel like with this multiplayer stuff, I'm like right at the edge of my capacity, right? Like it's just like, I can't even remember how we implemented stuff. There was like a full 5 minutes we were talking about checkpointing, and I'm like, what the hell is checkpointing? I was like trying to remember in my head how that works, you know?
I'm glad it's not just you. Yeah, this project has in many aspects pushed to the edge of my programming ability, and it's delightful.
Yeah, that's good.
And my 5th grade geometry ability, but like that's coming back.
Wow, you went to like a Montessori school. They were just like teaching you like really fancy stuff early on.
Wait, did you not learn geometry in fifth grade? I did.
Uh,
I don't know when math is supposed to happen. I went to a weird school.
I think my first proper geometry class was
High school?
ninth grade.
Okay.
However, I did know like things like diameter of a circle,
Mm.
but I did not know trigonometry like sine, cosine, and tangent until ninth grade.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't remember now. I barely remembered for this game, so it didn't stick.
Yeah.
I'm glad it finally turned out to be useful in my life. I should have known.
Well, another one in the bag. A couple idiots making a game.
Dude, we're killing it.
Yeah.
And we have a sweet website.
All right. Next stream
I'm gonna
Monday.
wave goodbye to myself on the stream. Yeah.
Monday 7 to 9.
Monday 7 to 9. Bye.
All right. Take it easy, Twitch.
That's
I
cute.
need to hit the stop streaming button. I was just like waiting for us to go offline, and I'm just like, the power is in my hands. All right, I'm gonna click the button right now.
Right now.
I still haven't clicked it. All right, I'm gonna click it now.